What's going on, guys? It's Easy. Welcome to my channel. So these are the non-transformation builds, the speed builds, damage builds, whatever you guys want to call it. Let me showcase it to you guys, then we will get into the builds itself for Druid obviously. But let's begin. You can see I can trigger the earthquake while I am moving, and my damage is somewhat really strong here, and I can pretty much kill anyone in my path. And I even have the surging stone on me, which I can trigger if I feel the need for it. But if the need doesn't arise, you can just keep it as it is and things will be fine. And hold on, yeah, I am trying not to use my primary here, and yeah, look at them, they are just getting burned and destroyed. Boom, Malakas gone. Let's do a huge explosion here. Let's gather them all up together, and we're going to do a huge kaboom. Boom, there you go. All of them are resting in pieces. So there we go. So these are the builds, non-transformation builds. We are still using the primer power here, of course, otherwise Druid would be a useless class, so I had to use something in order to utilize that. So let's get into the builds quickly. What's the entire ideology behind my builds is? Well, the thing is, I find transformation to be fun, but it is at the same time somewhat not responding and really clunky in my opinion. So I thought, let's do something else that would give me movement speed, and while I'm moving I can do a lot of these AoE shit, and it can be fun for your weekly stuff. So at least while you guys are trying to play this class and learning everything that it has to offer, you would not feel slowed in your weekly activities, and these builds are definitely going to fulfill your requirement for that. So starting off, I am using here, where is that, I was using the attacker buff here. You guys can go with the protector as well if you need more movement speed. Then the size of your character is going to get bigger and you'll be able to run even faster. So that's that. And for the Paragon specialization, I was using just the usual there, which I always use, which is linger with what's this called, unseen dynamism, uncanny, gifted, careful aim, spell search with the overload legendary skill. Well, however, we didn't use it much because, as you can clearly see, I was just focusing on using my skills, and that's pretty much it. Then for my secondaries, this is what my secondaries looks like. Armor is somewhat really nice, armor penetration, I'm working on it, and the rest of the two are just alright. And critical chance is 30%, attack speed and all that, 4528 resonance. And these are the gems I'm using: rank 6 Colossus, rank 10 Moon Skull, rank 6 Gloomcast. This is pretty useless for Druid, which I have figured out. So yeah, not a really ideal gem for Druid. Blood Soaked, Bottle Hope, then rank 7 Wolf Huge, rank 7 Rolling, and rank 10 Fervent Fang. And talking about set items, we were using Grace of the Flagellant because every time when I start with a newer class, I always go with the Grace of the Flagellants. Here it is, Grace of the Flagellant, because it is quite a safe bet because it triggers quite well for all the classes. And apologies, there might be some noises behind in the background because there's a lot of work happening in my home. So yeah, bear with me. I hope the noise is not really annoying. But anyways, 4 pieces of Grace of Flagellant, then 4 pieces of Vitus Urge. I'm a fan of Vitus Urge, but you guys let me know what are you been up to with the Druid class. And now let's get into the skills that I have been using, and they are Surging Stone. Just I have mentioned that I had to use something which would use the primer power. Then Earthquake, amazing in my opinion, with the chest piece that I'm using. While you are walking, you are going to erupt a lot of those shockwaves beneath you. Then Summon Wolves are basically being used here for the movement speed that we are getting from them. And Fire Tornado is amazing, as you guys saw in the end when I triggered it kaboom everyone. So let's get into the builds now. So talking about the essences, the first one which we are using is Ashmonger, and I think it is for Fire Tornado. Now unleash an expanding ring of fire, damaging and burning enemies. So this is what I was using. Really amazing. And if you have a weekend slot, then Fire Tornado damage is increased by 10%. Then Earth Binding chest piece is what we are using here for Earthquake. Now smash the ground and empowers you, causing your movement to unleash after shockwave every few yards. Amazing for speed farming, walking builds and such. Then Barghest Beacon is what we are using for shoulder. Summon wolves. Now summon fire wolves to fight alongside you, burn enemies who can be commanded to breathe fire. So you see I have a lot of dots going on here, so my Grace of Fragile Land could trigger. Then Occasional Pillars, these are for Surging Stone. I had no other essence for this specific skill, so I just choose this one since I have no issue with my primer power. So why not just go with it and deal 40% more damage and 10% more if you have a vacant slot. So yeah, that's a win-win there. And obviously I'm not focusing on the magic attributes. I will talk about that later in my video, which are good ones. But then Earthquake also grants you a shield for 4 seconds that absorbs 38,000 damage and makes you immune to 1 total loss of control. Well, there is another one here which deals 40% more damage to slows enemies, but I don't have that, so I went with this one here that gives me shield. However, I wish there were more Earthquake essences, but currently we don't have any, only 2 of those. Then Summon Wolves also increases your movement speed. This is what we were using. And on our first main offhand, your Grizzly generate 2 primer power. Unfortunately, there is no other option here, so I just went with this one. This is a useless slot here. However, we are using this one here. Ferocious Strike generate an additional 8 primer power when hitting an enemy. So you see, there are a lot of SSs which this class is missing at the moment, which will get better with time and more difficulties when the classes receive more SSs. But for now, the limitation is there. You will definitely feel that you don't have the freedom to work around builds, and yeah, that is what I didn't like about Druid. And also the transformation is clunky. But anyways, just wanted to share these builds with you guys. Give it a try, you are definitely going to like them. It will not slow you down doing your activities, dungeons and such, and you can still play and farm. But anyways, this is it for the video. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, have fun, and bye guys.